All right, welcome back. Why do women cheat? The ones that cheat. Obviously, not all women cheat. Why do women cheat? Anybody have answers for me in the chat? The ones that end up cheating or the ones that will cheat, why do they cheat? What are the typical reasons why women cheat? I'm curious to see what you think. I have a video, okay, that I feel like we should respond to. Let me see here. There you go.
Women cheat though.
Brother Paul is here again today. But yeah, why do women cheat? She has an answer for us. But why do women cheat? Let me see what the world is saying about this. Okay. Why do women cheat? Right. Obviously we are assuming here that there's a difference between why women cheat and why men cheat, right? And if you know that difference too, please share, because I'm a learner here. Why do women cheat? I'm looking at Bryce.com. Let's see what they have to say. Let me just see if I can skim through really quickly. Why do women cheat? Do you have an idea? Any ideas? Let me see. She said, "Oh Lord, here we go again with Brother Paul." Brother Paul. Yes, so she has something to say. She has opinion about everything. She keeps giving. Why do women cheat? So this guy is asking, right? As you should, right? As you should. It's better to ask questions because you keep an open mind. This one is a good one. Their village people are after them. Okay. All right. I'll take that in. Let's take that in. Let me just see, first of all, before we continue here, let me see if I can share this. I'm curious to see what this article on Bryce.com says. And I didn't prepare for this. I just see the question. I say, maybe we can. Romari says lack of sexual satisfaction. Wow. That would make a woman cheat. Now that's scary. Because, in our own little head, men, we're like, a woman will never cheat. No, unless she's just for the streets. She cannot cheat, right? She has to be for the street. So this one that you just gave us right now, Romari, in my head as a man, I'm interpreting that she's for the streets. Like, why don't we have a conversation first, right? Okay, maybe we've had a conversation and it no work, right? Or why just leave? Like, women are very quick to say, why not leave instead of cheating, right? Leave before you cheat, right? So how come that's not adding up here right now? But I'll take it in. It's probably will come up here. Let me see what this article has to say. This article, number one, says dissatisfaction in relationship, right? This can be seen as the underlying theme of the majority of motivation for infidelity. Okay. So they didn't say Kerewa, they're just saying the relationship in general. Okay. So this makes sense because it's broad enough, right? Two, low self-esteem. Now I agree with this one. Okay, I agree with this one. Because low self-esteem can create a void that you might feel like doing something this stupid can, help you feel. It can be subconscious to a large extent. Doesn't mean you're not making a choice. You're still making a choice as an adult, right? Let's see here. 3 says emotional starvation. I definitely believe strongly that this is the part that a lot of men may not be able to comprehend unless they hit rock bottom. They chop breakfast first. Premium breakfast, then they were open. Now I can listen. Now maybe I can learn something new, right? Because they hit rock bottom. But before that, they usually will say, no, that doesn't make any sense. Emotional starvation, when there's duty and responsibility. When you get married, you're supposed to get married and not think about all these things about happiness and everything emotion. Why is everything got to be about emotions? And then by the time they get close to even anything that makes sense, they will say women are emotional. I say, okay, that's still not it, okay? We're all emotional. Women express their emotions much more than men, yes, but no, men are just as emotional. But another conversation, Romari says they're married for security but not getting the other part. Want to get best of both worlds. Okay. Some women cheat for benefits, money, intimacy, emotions. I don't think women cheat for no reason like men. You think men cheat for no reason? Jesus Christ. Stray bullets. Stray bullets. I think there's always a reason. Doesn't mean you didn't make a choice. I think one of the issues that we have with this conversation is that we think that when there's a reason, it must mean that you weren't making a choice. We're equating reasons with excuses. Yeah, two things can be correct at the same time, right? Romari says, I definitely agree with emotional starvation. Yes, emotional starvation is broad enough and still very close enough to people's personal story that if you're willing to listen long enough, it will make sense to you. But people that have not hit rock bottom are not capable of listening long enough. It doesn't make sense to them. To them is duty, responsibility, 1 and 0, blue or red pill. They're lame, you know. But when you hit rock bottom or you've had some experience, what I mean is you had some experience. You've seen ups and downs of life. You're able to say, maybe there's always something else I can learn. Something new, right? Emotional starvation, yes, definitely. Anger or retribution. Women are, I have to be very careful with generalization. Women can be very vindictive. Okay? If you cheat on a woman, yes. Okay? If you maltreat her, yes, it can lead to it. Obviously, there's a lot going on there that you have to unpack at a psychological level, emotional level as well. But yes, this can definitely lead to it. Men, I don't think men cheat out of anger. He was probably going to be a cheater anyway, right? No. If I'm angry, the next thing I'm thinking about is, no, I probably was going to do that already. But women that would not think about this before might think about doing this if they are that angry. Anger, you as a woman need to be very careful with anger. You might self-destruct. You might destroy yourself in the process. Because at some point, you don't care. You don't care. You give up. You just like, there's nothing else to value in life. You're just like, don't care.
Don't care. Don't care.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with anger. See, as men, anger is one of our main point of emotions. Okay, so it's not something that is kind of strange to us. Men gotta be careful with anger, of course, but there's a different type of anger that I'm talking about. As a woman, you have to be careful. Before you get into that space, make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Okay. 5, lack of excitement. This one don't make sense to men at all. They have a hard time understanding. Oh, by the way, Brother Paul is not going to tell us any one of this, okay? She's going to tell us something else entirely. But I'm going to go to Brother Paul's story in a second. Let me skim through this real quick. Lack of excitement, of course. If you're boring, you go collect premium breakfast, okay? That doesn't make any sense. Life is not all about happy. I'm telling you the reality. You're right that, maybe it doesn't make sense to you. You're right about that too. Clearly doesn't make sense to you, but you go chop premium breakfast if you don't get it together. That as much as human beings, all of us, we need security, we need a sense of varieties, we need beauty, we need to be able to see, gentlemen, come on, now you can see something, they walk by like but you don't want to touch it, right? But that something was tingling in your head because that's just life. Life is beautiful and women are beautiful, right? But no, you'll be in denial now. You think it's all about, no, you never see women walk by and you say, Jesus, even as a married man, you never seen it before. No, you just do the right thing all the time. Yeah.
Not be juju be that.
Yeah, stop the
cap.
Okay. Life is a beautiful thing. Let's be guided. You need to understand everything. You need to have well-rounded understanding of how life works. So, like you said before, yes, so women will do it for sexual deprivation as well, okay? A lot of laymen, they are completely disconnected from the idea that women also love kerewa. They love, yeah, you're right that the ambience, everything has to be right. They have to be emotionally stable for, typically, yes, you're right. But they love this thing, die. Don't deceive yourself. Loneliness will absolutely do it. Insecure attachment style will do it. That's something a little bit deeper that you need therapy to help you with. Midlife crisis will do it. Okay? Midlife crisis will do it. I'm telling you. Okay. Midlife crisis, combine that with loneliness, and this one right here. Yeah, that one, right? And this one, emotional starvation. You have a dangerous combination right there. Don't be delusional. Okay, that's all I'm telling you, gentlemen. Okay, you need to be nurturing your relationships. It's not only bad women that cheat. Get that shit in your skull right now. Okay, an underlying condition, it could be childhood trauma. Okay, it could be opportunity. You don't want to hear this. I know you don't want to see that. That's like shaking them up right now. Like, opportunity beat Tibawo. You should have some morals and values. You're right. That's the whole point of morals and values. If it's not strong enough, people can be human beings, okay? 12. And I am not justifying it. I'm just telling you that these things are deeper than surface level, stupid, right and wrong, moralizer. In fact, those are the reasons why they will cheat on you. But anyway, 12, numbing difficult feelings. All right, those are 12 right there. But let me get back to that video. Let's see what Brother Paul has to say about this. I'm not sure if she had an opinion.
And cheat though.
I mean,
Why do women cheat though?
I mean, usually, okay, if you're dating a guy and he gives you a certain type of lifestyle, but you're not attracted, like that's the women we talked about, that they're not attracted to him. They're gonna go somewhere else to the guy they're attracted to. Or maybe they married their second choice. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories of like women cheating with an ex-boyfriend before their wedding, because that's who they really wanted. But they married the other guy because that guy didn't want them. When a girl has more partners, you don't know who that person that really got her was. Like you don't know like who the one she really can't get over is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and if she feels like he was better than you in some, like it could be money, could be whatever's important to that girl, like. You don't even know if she's really yours.
There's a saying that, what do they say? She's not yours. You're just, how do they say it? I can't be cramming these people's talking points. Jesus Christ. It said, you're just next. Something, it's the way they say it. It's something I'm trying to say. I can't say because I can't be cramming their talking points anyway. That's what she's repeating. Everything she said can be true for a man too. The question was, why do women cheat though? Let's go over it again. Okay, I need particular reasons. There were 2 or 3 reasons that we just went through on Brides.com that typically a man that's going to use that excuse to cheat is just an excuse. He's just a cheater, because a man in our society really don't need any of those reasons to cheat. Okay, because even if he gets caught, it's not going to be judged that much. Okay, they just be like, oh, a man is a man, man's a scum, he can deal with that, right? But let's see.
Women cheat though.
I mean, usually, okay, if you're dating a guy and he gives you a certain type of lifestyle, but you're not attracted, like that's the women we talked about.
So if he's giving you money, a lifestyle, but you're not attracted to it. By the way, lifestyle can almost translate to attraction, Brother Poro, but I'm sure you don't. Yeah, that's too deep.
That they're not attracted to him. They're going to go somewhere else to the guy they're.
Attraction and lifestyle, first of all, can live together at the same time. Second of all, as giving you a certain type of lifestyle can create financial security, can create security effectively, meaning it can create attraction. So 2 can be correct and absolutely accurately existing at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive, right? She's not saying that either, but what she's saying, I can read between the lines.
They're attracted to, or maybe they.
What she said is that if it's the lifestyle, it's either the lifestyle or it's the attraction. She didn't exactly say that, but just in case that's what she said, let me just say that, just so you know.
Married their second choice. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories of like women cheating with an ex-boyfriend before their wedding.
That's true. Remember, Brother Paul is usually never wrong on paper. Remember that, okay? That's why she's viral, okay? It's the in between the lines that she tends to miss, right? Romari says there's been a shift in that some women in their 50s leave their husband for younger men for the excitement and such. She's for the street. That person is for the street. We're talking about a particular type of woman. We can't say that in generals, right? There's a particular type of woman that will literally leave a husband, right? Leave her husband unless there are other things. There has to be multiple layers to that. There has to be more to it. Doesn't mean she's not guilty. doesn't mean she's not for the street. In fact, I just said she's for the streets already, right? Doesn't mean that she's not a bad person. What I'm saying is that that's a particular type of woman, right? But there are typical women that will find themselves cheating, and they sworn up and down that they were not that type of person. And you could see, and you will be shocked if you found out that they cheated too. You will be like, I never saw that coming. But the type of women you're talking about, I guarantee you, most people can see them and say, oh, they know that this person will probably do something like that, right? Those are different types of, obviously everyone is not a monolith, right? So but at that point, I won't call it cheating. They're just living their lifestyle that you kind of suspected already, right? Be responsible, not boring. Thank you for saying that.
Because that's who they really wanted.
Yeah.
But
So that's who they really wanted, is the manosphere lame modern men talking point. People can want you and actually marry you. 3 years later, they actually don't want you and they went back to their boyfriend and cheated on you with the boyfriend, or actually gather a whole new boyfriend altogether and cheated on you with it. And it's not that they didn't like you before. Okay? Something changed, something switched. Doesn't have to be your fault. But something other than right and wrong happened. They chose to do to participate in a bad behavior, right? But of course, the lame mother man will say it must have been that she loved, and then Brother Paul is repeating that. It's because she never really wanted you. That's not true. That's how you beat yourself up for no reason. It's not your fault. It doesn't have to be your fault.
they married the other guy because that guy didn't want them. When a girl has more,
That guy didn't want them. No, he didn't want them. Maybe the guy wanted them for a different reason. You could say for a different reason. Maybe just to do career, but no, they want them. People just don't get together without wanting. They might want them for a specific reason, maybe just for career, maybe just to be a wife. They still want them. Not want them is shaming language if you can read between the line. Okay, it's shaming language to try to shame people to coming back to act right. No, you can't shame people to do the right thing. They have to see value in doing the right thing. The hard work is to educate them on the value of what you're trying to get them to do. If you don't know how to educate them on the value, you will resort to shaming, and that's a testament to how weak you are. Okay? It's not gonna work. It's not. Shaming doesn't work. Okay? If anything, they'll say, okay, I don't care about doing the right thing. Are you gonna be the first person to tell them they're doing something wrong? You're probably not the first. Okay? So you're wasting your breath, essentially. Okay, the best way to help get people to do the right thing in a sustainable way, long term, is to educate them on the value, and that takes work. That takes patience. And I get it that some of you may be too short for that. Short circuit, angry.
partners, you don't know who that person that really got her was. Like, you don't know like who the one she really can't get over is.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God.
And so, and if she feels like he was better than you, and some, like, it could be money, could be whatever's important to that girl, like, you don't even know if she's really yours.
Yeah. Any 17-year-old could say that. And we can say that about both genders. So, again, all up in the bottle. It's not working. Brother Paul, it's working actually. She's growing a big fan base for that. Shout out to her for that. But we will continue to add more context to that conversation here. So it's not, listen, you can want something right now today and you don't want it tomorrow, okay? Yes, the thing can be good for you. It might be completely bad for you. Oh, by the way, you can want something that's also very bad for you. You can know that soda is good for you, but you have 2 packs of it in your in your fridge, in your refrigerator, like the rest of them, right? You know that soda is bad for you. What do I mean by soda? Minerals. Nigeria say minerals. The UK people call it what? Soda pop. What do you guys call it over there? Right? What do they call it in UK? Soda pop, minerals. What do you call it? I meant, what do you call it? This caffeinated drinks. That's what I meant. Okay? You know that it's bad for you, sugar, but you have a pack of it in your fridge. That's real life. People can engage in bad behavior knowing that it's bad for them. Right? Even after knowing the value, you're not participating. So how much more when you're like, no, I'm not going to teach them. They should know better. They should just know better. Not to where you did, Jared. Talk to me. Talk to me. How far?
Area, I do. How about you?
Area. I do. I'm here. Oh. We are
Listen,
here. Oh.
this whole thing. Hi, Romari. Hi, Chinye. Hi, D-Love.
Yeah, they're shouting you out. Everybody's here. Everybody's here.
You know,
They're in the
it's really
background.
crazy how you said you might want something today and then tomorrow you might your taste might be different. And that's where like the conversation of always saying people fall out of love comes into place. And sometimes people feel like it's crazy. They're like, oh, you're such a perfect couple. Oh, you guys are so nice together. I'm like,
Right.
can people just normalize that some things like will have to change? Like how some
Some
people will
things,
say,
I be
Dolly.
everything changes.
No,
That's the only
no,
constant.
no, I'm just saying, like, I mean, everything changes.
Everything.
But when it changes, some people accept the change, some don't. And
Yes,
some can't
exactly.
even bring themselves around accepting that change. Some people can manage around it and be like, okay, yeah, I know things happen. I know because she had kids, she added weight. I know it comes with that, blah, blah, blah. That's
Right.
my fault, but she did it for the family. One time I heard Kevin Hart saying that he cannot stand a woman that has cellulite.
Let me GG be that.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
that. Well, that's given because most of normal men, they love cellulites, they love stretch marks, they love anything that
You
seems,
know, I'm
and they
like,
hate
bro,
they hate
I
BBLs.
said, bro, are you normal? Like, this is a woman that have 2 kids for you. I'm like, I don't know if his wife heard that, but
He has no wife. He had no wife. What do you mean? Kevin
no, I
Samuels?
said, I
You
don't
said
know if his wife heard that.
which
Heard
did you
him,
Kevin Hart or Kevin Samuels?
Kevin Hart.
Oh, Kevin Hart. Oh,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart is another weirdo out there, but
Yes. So honestly, like, I feel like, especially when it comes to marriage, especially on our own side, we just get too much pressure of just like get a husband, get married. They don't like explain to you what is in it, what to expect, what to do. I feel like marriage counselors should do more of like a realistic counseling and have conversation with couples before they get married. Just not just saying, oh, just be patient with her. You have to be patient with him. Like, you just gotta tell them, like, listen, there are times that he's gonna get on your last nerves, and then you're gonna be like,
right.
you gotta like be realistic with people, what they're gonna see,
Yeah.
ask them what they expect, because sometimes these people go in with unrealistic expectations too.
Yeah. We all do, which is
Well,
which is the reason why we have to be intentional with expectations, right?
sure.
All of us have expectations. That's why I say manage. I don't say eliminate
No,
your expectations. I say
I
manage
see
them.
everybody goes in with an expectation, but I said some people go with some unrealistic
Unrealistic.
expectations.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why these conversations need to take place. And now
Yeah.
we, the parents that claim that we are woke parents, that's where we come to play, where we have to have this conversation with our kids growing up, so
Right.
that they understand what is in it, what it entails. Like, listen, it's not just, I had somebody asking one of my friends one time that was married before us. She was like, okay, so how many times do you guys have sex in a week? And my friend was like, sometimes never. She's like, you guys don't have like every day?
Every day, weary. Are you having
That
every
one
day
is
as a
married
single
now.
person?
She's married now. So I asked her the same question the other day. She said I'm stupid. I'm like, but that's just the fact. You asked the same question 10 years ago to someone.
It's because they have lame people on the internet like Anton Daniels giving them unrealistic expectations.
And
That one is always yelling how he's having sex every night. I'm like, dude, you're not impressing anybody except lame people. Like, that's not impressive. Even as
he
a
doesn't have a
man,
job. He has like 4 wives.
that's a weirdo. Even as a man, you don't want sex every day like that. There might be times that you're just doing back to back multiple times a day because it's just, but there will be time that
Yeah.
either it's
Like,
because
I
of
just
dry
wanna be
spell
alone,
or
can
you're
you leave me
busy
alone?
or I'm
Yeah.
just busy. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm not there
Oh,
right
you're not
now.
even emotionally there.
That's normal behavior now. That's normal human behavior, typical human behavior. There are some people on the extreme of it, like obviously exceptions to the rule, but it's particularly those people that shouldn't be teaching anybody because it's unrealistic at best for most people, right? So I'm not saying it's not possible that you're doing 2 times a day with I'm just saying you're
Yeah,
setting
it's
up
very
people.
possible, but it's not like a repetitive thing. It's not like a constant, this is what you do all the time.
Yeah, yeah, setting people up basically.
So I was just looking at this thing that you had that just came up on the screen. They
Mm-hmm.
say dissatisfaction in relationships. Why do women cheat?
Yeah, these are the reasons that we found on brides.com. What do you think about that?
That's true because and when we mean dissatisfaction, it's broad.
It's broad. It's broad enough so we can probably
Yeah.
capture a few things
So
in
it
there, right?
might be emotional, it might
Mm-hmm.
be sexual, it might be physical. You know.
So speaking of emotional, number 3 is that right there.
Emotional starvation.
Yeah.
Of course.
So that can go easily under dissatisfaction in relationship.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. They are
Yeah.
cousins.
They're literally cousins. So there's also this. What do you understand about this one? Low self-esteem.
So this one, to some extent, doesn't really have to do with the partner.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with the individual.
Right.
And honestly speaking, like I say, I don't know, I'm trying to look for the right phrase to use, but I don't, because when it comes to you have only few partners that will know that their partners have low self-esteem that will
Yes.
want to help you to get out of it. Most partners will want to take advantage of it.
What do you mean by
understand
that?
let's say that, for example, like a husband and a wife, and you know, like your wife have a low self-esteem, so you're gonna use that as your punching line. Like every time you guys have something going on, you always want to go for that because
I see.
know she has a low self-esteem. Now your job is supposed to bring her out of that place, because that's why you're partners, and that's going to be part of your job requirement as a partner. If your partner
Now, let me ask you this. Of course, low self-esteem can show up in different ways. This person understands is that this is low self-esteem and they use it, or
Some
which I
of
know they
them
exist
don't.
too, right?
Some don't, you know
They
that, right?
don't, right? They
Like
don't.
like
That's
the
what I'm
lady
about to
that
say.
showed up on Auntie B's show the other day.
Mhm.
I was talking about she dated a Nigerian guy
Shout out
that
to
they
Auntie
broke
B.
up.
Mm-hmm.
That they broke up and he left her for some Nigerian girl, and then he came back to her again and she was giving him her money.
Right, Jamaican lady.
Yeah, and she's just like, no, I'm just nice. I'm like, no, sis.
Right. So that's a good example. That's a good example. Here's why it's a good example, right? So he probably he doesn't he wouldn't he probably knows in another way, but he hasn't interpreted this woman's behavior as low self-esteem. He's probably interpreting it as like that one. Maybe like that one I can get her anytime, right? But not
Yeah, but that's what
necessarily
he
at a
knows.
clinical level, right?
Yeah, but you know, like some of these things you don't have to come out and say it outrightly. Like, you know, that my
That's what I meant.
ex-girlfriend, she has, yeah. So he knows what her weakness is. Like at that
He
one,
knows there's a weakness that he can take advantage of, is what I'm trying to say.
right, bro.
Right.
I don't care. Any of my ex knows that you out, you block. Bye. That's
Right.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Right. So if they know that you're going to be there begging anyway,
Nah.
they don't call it low self-esteem, but it's precisely what it is, right?
Yes.
So they kind of take advantage of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. So all right. So we just talked about this one, emotional
See,
starvation.
this one, this I feel this goes under dissatisfaction, but this again can stand on its own because this is abuse.
It's what?
It's abuse.
Yeah. So I always say something here. I'm not sure. Tell me if it makes sense or not. Right. I always say you can be abusing people and not realize you are abusing them.
Agree. 100%.
Yes. I needed to say that because people were, especially men, will be like, "What do you mean abuse? Why do everything have to be abused?" Right? Because it's a big, to them it's a big phrase, and it's almost, they take it as they take it as an attack when you say they're abusive to their partner, as opposed to what our intentions is, which is to bring light to it.
As opposed to like, okay, let me sit down and review what these people are saying.
Yes.
Like Apostle used to say, if somebody is complaining, somebody's complaining too much about you, go sit down and review the complaint. There's some iota of truth in it. Take what is true, fix it, and throw away what you think is bad. Period.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. So most of them will interpret it. It feels like an attack, and when people feels attack, they attack back, right? So
Right. Yes. The best form of defense is,
yeah, defense. They become
Do
defensive.
you watch this guy's podcast, Dear Future Wifey?
Oh, I need to. I've been seeing it in my feed, but I've seen that guy. He was dragged by the manosphere at one point. He's a divorcee, and I could hear that he's a divorcee, right?
He's a divorce. Let me tell you, he's
Right.
a divorcee. He's the reason why they got divorced, because he stepped out of his marriage. He
Yes, I
stepped out
remember
of his
that.
marriage, and he has taken responsibility for that. He's on a healing journey, and he started it during COVID. And then other people now started finding the platform as a place to come and talk,
Right.
and to share their own experiences too. And then while he is learning,
I need to check it out. Maybe I can do some reaction to it. Yeah.
No, you need to. So there was one that I watched today. I forgot the name of the guy is Corey. I can't remember his last name. He was married before, and he broke up with his wife after 12 years, and he married this lady that he met her. Amazing lady. And they had issues and they broke up. Now we're talking about this emotional starvation, right?
Right.
And he was talking to Lataris, and he said, I'm not saying my wife is 100% perfect person. I'm not saying there are things that she was doing that. He said, but everything that that did happen in our marriage that led to our breakup was me. He said he went through so much growing up as a child. He has a lot of traumas that he has not healed. And now he met this amazing lady that he wants her to heal what she did not break.
Okay, so that one will be juju now.
You know what I'm saying?
Not be juju be that.
When she didn't subscribe to be a doctor. Right?
Exactly, that's what he's saying. Because while people were trying to make it look like he's like, no. Corey Hughes, thank you, Chinye. And he was like, they're separated now, right? And he was like, I am so much working on myself. He said, I want my wife back. I miss my wife. But I don't want to force her to come back to me. I'm working on getting her back.
That right there is a reason why the manosphere will call him a simp. Wanting his wife back.
Listen to what he says, and I respect that. He said, I want that by the time my wife comes back to me, that she gets the love that she deserves.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So she's amazing. So sometimes so he said when he was doing it, he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't see anything wrong in what he was doing.
Yeah, it's not supposed to. If he saw what he was doing wrong, he would fix it, right?
Right.
These are the issues.
Those traumas that he did not heal from, those traumas that he did not address, were now screaming on top of his head louder than his voice that took over his marriage. So he now took himself to therapy, and did
he get his wife back?
They're not back yet, but he said they're in a good place.
And that's all you need. And that's all you can do. That's all you can control. The rest of it is in the hands of faith, God, and the rest of it. All you can do is be the best you can be.
To God, but they're in a good place now.
Yeah, no guarantees, but there's guarantee that if you work on yourself, you will benefit from it.
Exactly. I say that all the time. Time because, discovering like who you are honestly is a big deal.
Right.
It's like the icing on the cake, and oh my God, what? So
what happened? You saw number 4?
Number 4. So when I walk,
do you agree that women can be very vindictive?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I think most women agree to that. Yeah. Yeah.
So during the day when I work, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Wait, before you continue, let me say this. There's something you said just now that I want to make sure I spread out for all the gentlemen listening in the background. It's not your fault. The more you think it's your fault, the more you're going to overreact because you're resenting yourself. The way that what that looks like on the surface, that you attacked the woman and she probably doesn't know what the hell is going on. Listen, you're beating yourself up for no reason, right? Relax. These life calamities happen to the best of us in one shape, form, or the other. It's not everybody, their wife cheat on them. Sometimes people lose their children. Some people are going to go try to do polygamy without their full chest, and then they'll end up in some kind of poto. Everyone ends up poto at some point, right? Relax. The work is actually easier when you put all the energy back on your own emotional stability, some emotional intelligence. if you try it, if you are doing that militant nonsense, you will hurt yourself. Continue,
I
Jerry.
love that militant statement that you made. Like it doesn't work. It's just like a dry stick. If you're trying to bend a dry stick, it's going to break. It will break.
The other
You
day,
can't
somebody
bend a
was
dry
on
stick.
social media. They said, do you guys have Atori in Kaduna? Atori in Yoruba is like this cane that they sell in the market that you used to whip your children. Like
Koboko.
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 Yeah, so they have Atori is like a stick. Koboko is more like is it the same thing?
Skin.
Similar stuff anyway. Yeah, Koboko
Koboko
is more
is
like a
skin.
skin, right? The Atori is more like stick. They make them for the same purpose, right? And somebody said they are selling it in an African store somewhere. And she's so excited and she's holding on to it and she's like, I'm gonna use this on somebody because I'm like,
She's going to jail.
You will end up in jail. Are you mad,
She's
me?
going to jail.
And rightfully so. Go ahead, continue, Jerry. Sorry.
Are you joking? I forgot. I lost my train of thought. What was I
So
talking
sorry,
about?
so sorry.
That was
Let's get back to vindictive. We're talking about women can be vindictive, but you were trying to take me through. Let's get through this. You can remember again. This one, lack of excitement. What does this mean to you? Number 5.
See, right? I think I remember there was one time, I think it was my husband that sent me the link of one video of some people that were married for like, I think, how many years? I think more than 40 years. And the guy said it's not all rosy. Like, it's not all roses. So, and that comes with expectations too. So when you're getting married, you think like, oh, me and my husband gonna do this, do that. We're always gonna do this. And like, this has no exciting. There are days that the marriage is not gonna be excited. There
Yeah.
are days that it's gonna be boring.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it, honestly speaking, there are days that you're gonna feel disappointed by yourself. There are days that you're gonna be disappointed by the other person. There are days that you're gonna be disappointed by the whole thingy. So I just feel like
There are days that you can't stand each other.
yep.
You don't even know why. You can't even put your fingers on it.
Oh, you come up with like, how the hell did we even get married?
Yeah, after you don't settle, you just be like, your face will be hurting you.
All this
Your-
while you just figuring that out.
Yeah, your face will be hurting you from just being upset, and you like for no reason. Okay, I can't.
Yes.
You have to trace your step back. Like, what upset you first in the first place? You know.
Yeah.
There are gonna be those days, of course.
But
you know.
yeah, but you just have to create that mindset for yourself. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? That there are days that probably you're like, let's say your partner is tired from work, a work pissed him or something, and the person needs like a little space. You can go do something. That's why you need to get a life.
Yeah.
Do something for yourself. Maybe you have something you need to take care of. Let that person have a little space to breathe.
Speaking of life, what do you think about this one?
Oh Jesus! Oh my God! I
When
think I'm
she-
going through big
When she start taking pictures of just pata on Instagram randomly in the middle of nowhere, 43 years old. She just want to start taking pictures of just wearing just pata.
And then you're gonna be like, ma'am, you are 40. You didn't do this at 16. You're doing this now.
Or even worse, nobody want to tell her the truth because it's like, who go tell her now? Because
No,
auntie,
Someone posted the
What
other
are
day,
you
she's
doing?
35. This is someone that's not social media friendly person. She's
Uh-huh.
35. She just posted a picture. She went on vacation with bikini. She's like, this is not a test trap. I'm like, clearly it is, sis. This
Yeah.
is. And I wrote in capital letters. She's like, you're so mean. I'm like, I'm just telling you. Because, girl, you're 35. You didn't do this at 60. You're doing this there. Tell me it's not a test trap. Excuse you?
I swear, me and my wife laugh at this all the time. Like I'll just see her like, what? Midlife crisis is a bastard.
It is.
You just won't know it. You just be like, oh, me too. I want to find myself. Okay, that's a very easy way to. I want to find myself. So you start taking bikini picture. Like that's. Yeah,
Nah.
and your man, ladies. Let me tell you this: your husband might not have the balls, not just because he doesn't have the ball. He doesn't want the wala. You know,
Yeah.
to tell you
Somebody
that.
just want to avoid the wahala.
Yeah, like I shouldn't have to tell you that you shouldn't be wearing just pattern on Instagram now. Until you're like 47. Why?
Nah.
But just so you know,
I look, wait, you're gonna the next thing you're gonna hear all lies. But I look good for 47. They say I'm good for 47.
and then while I be that too, because I threw 37 in there, I threw 43 in there, I threw 4. But you get the gist now. You know,
Yep.
it's not the way you carry yourself in public. It's not just for you. You care because it's the same thing for you, vice versa. You want your husband to carry himself. There's a way he behaves that will embarrass you in public. You be like,
Yep.
how you do that now, right?
Yep.
Oh no, but here's what you ladies typically do. Okay, You'll be like, well, I can't tell another woman how to dress, to each his own. I just wouldn't do it. It's this whole finding yourself thing. This is another topic that we have to keep unpacking too, because I believe in at some point you have to find yourself. You don't know yourself until you hit rock bottom and you need to find yourself.
So I have a question, right? When people say finding themselves, like for you, I ask you, when people say finding themselves, what do people mean?
What they typically mean is that it's an identity thing, right? So if we're talking about marriage,
what has that
right?
got to do with clothes?
Because they tend to fix it with surface things now.
Jeez.
Right?
Oh my God.
They tend to fix it with surface things. So for example, I'll give you an example. Men do it too, by the way. Men are. This is why I said, do you want to become a woman? Men are starting to do it.
Pencil pens.
They do it in a weird type of different way. They just start asking. Are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. They will just okay, men sometimes will just buy like a bike or something like that. Or he will start going clubbing at the age of 39 randomly. He's married though. He will just start out of nowhere. He will just start going clubbing. We go and line up in front of a club with 19 years old to enter a club. What is going on? It needs now. Here's what I tell you about finding yourself. We all will get into a space where we need to find ourselves, and it typically will happen after marriage. Okay, there's a high chance you're not able to find yourself if it's before marriage, because nothing is missing, so you're not finding anything, right? But when you get into a space where you have to share life with a person, you'll get into a space of just life happening. It doesn't have to be somebody's fault. Life happening, and you feel lost. You feel a sense of fulfillment. You don't feel a sense of fulfillment in where your life is at a point in time. Guess who you are going to first of all point fingers at first when you feel a need to point finger at something? It's going to be the person that you're sleeping with. That's the first person you point fingers at, because they're sleeping next to you. Yoruba people will say anybody sunan jarun palu. That means the person that sleeps in bed with you is the person you will slap in the middle of your sleep, right? If you grew up with other siblings, you slapped each other in the middle of your sleep before. You know what I mean? What they call it? What's the English phrase for it? When you fight. What is it?
English phrase for what?
When you're moving around too much in your sleep and you just, before you know, you just slap the person next to you on the bed. You do that. We all, if you slept in the same bed with siblings, you receive some kind of beating in the middle of the night. You know what I mean. So Yoruba people say anybody sun lanjarun palu. That means the person you're sleeping in the bed with is the person you will be rubbing sides with in the bed. Like you will hit each other. Sometimes you like stay on your side, that kind of thing, right? So it's the same thing when you're in a marriage. It's the person you tend to blame the most is the person that you are in the marriage with, right? So when you're in the midlife crisis, one of the first symptoms is that you have a need to blame people for your emotional state. Basically, everything will be irking you, everything will be annoying to you, And one of the first solutions, fake solutions you might allude to, is buying things. You might start buying things. You must start thinking about. This is when women will start thinking about.
Honorable member, please off your mic. Honorable member, off your mic. Off your mic, please.
I'm talking too much. I'm talking too much, Abby. Okay. That's when they want to go on girls trip. If your wife wants to go on girls trip, the issue is deeper than girls trip. The worst thing you can do is try to stop her from going on girls trip. There's issues are deeper. What this lame mother man will do is start shaming girls trip. Like, you go collect if you shame that girls trip. Your issues are deeper. It's not the girls trip. That's just the surface level solution thing. Your woman has never thought about, girls spa. Girls spa. She wants to go on girls. Auntie, you never been on girls spa in your life. Where did you learn that? Oh, you need to find yourself. Midlife crisis. There's nothing wrong with girls spa. In fact, I think women should do it, but I think you should be aware when it suddenly starts showing up in the middle of nowhere. You as a man need to be a little bit more aware.
But like I'm not against it. I like hanging out with my
Mm-hmm.
girlfriends, honestly speaking. Matter of fact, we're supposed to go on a girls trip
Mm-hmm.
Memorial Weekend, but it's just 4 people. But no, honestly speaking, when people start doing that a lot,
Right.
that's when you start going out and meeting different kind of ladies, different classes, different things, and then you start saying, I want this, oh, I should have gotten this, oh, I need a big butt, oh, I need to do this, oh, I want my hair to this, oh, I want to have this kind of bag, oh, I want.
Yeah, it's let me spell this out. Look at what Adebusola said now. Men midlife crisis, marry another wife out of the blue. This one is juju. This is winch. This is not midlife crisis.
She's not
Okay.
lying now. She's
No,
not
this
lying.
is that
Marry a
guy.
new wife out of
What-
the blue,
what-
or
what-
just go and have one random girlfriend.
What
And then
did
when you look at the girlfriend and the wife, you be like, bro,
no? What
you
did
give me this
Roma?
one
What
for
did Romari said earlier? The village people are following this guy. This is not men live crisis. I'm
you
telling
people
you,
just
they are following night. Is that what they call it? Night fight, bed wrestle. I think it may be bed, something like that. Anyway, so girls trip. It sounds good, right? There's nothing wrong with girls trip. Don't get me wrong. Again, when it comes out of nowhere, this woman, she's 44, right? You're married, and suddenly she start talking about girls trip. Brotherly, you're not supposed to overreact to that, because she will come for you with ain't nothing wrong. It's just distress and nothing wrong. You're just insecure. You go collect. You're not supposed to overreact to that. Okay? Supposed to it's
I
your
think
time.
mostly men
It's
that
your
overreact are insecure most times.
no, obviously, but that's the surface thing. Again, if you feel that will make any man feel insecure. Why is my wife suddenly trying to go on girls trip with randoms, right? Obviously, but again, I'm talking about from the standpoint of a man who is receiving that, and it's like if you've always gone on girls trip, obviously he doesn't see an issue in it, like his right. But if suddenly out of nowhere you're talking about you're about to take a girls trip, go to another town entirely, most men will overreact to that. I'm telling them, don't overreact to that. It's time that you start. You probably haven't paid enough attention to your wife. Okay,
That's
you need
true.
to start paying attention. Okay.
Yeah, that I agree. I
Yes.
agree, because if she's getting enough attention from you, she does not want to move an inch away from you. That's true.
You get it. You get
That's
it.
why I say all the time. I said the code is in the Bible. Love your wife. That the Bible give the code already. I'm telling you, like there is no woman on this earth that
Mhm.
you will like soak and marinate her in love that will act out of the ordinary. She has to be a winch, or her
Yeah.
village people have stolen her brain. Something is wrong.
All the village people are following her.
All the
But-
village people are following her.
Because you don't know. Gracious Greatness says Freaknik over girl trip. You know what Freaknik is?
No,
you're
what's that?
telling your age, Gracious Greatness, by talking about Freaknik. You're telling you your age, because Freaknik has not happened since the 90s or maybe
What's
early
that?
2000s.
What does that mean?
Freaknik is exactly what it sounds like. It's an old festival where a bunch of people get freaky in the middle of the streets in Atlanta.
yeah.
They used to do it in Atlanta. It was cancelled years ago.
Nah, ew.
So he said
Nah, that's disgusting.
he said Freaknik over girls trip. Some people's wife is going to end up in Freaknik in the name of finding themselves. And you know what kind of men go to Freaknik? There are men that are open-minded.
Yes, now men that are older have nothing to lose.
Now, if you're a woman, a typical woman, not a holier than thou, I will never do that. The typical woman, right? If you find yourself at a Freaknik, a festival, in a weekend where there's a bunch of single people everywhere, or people who want to act single for the weekend, right? What are the chances, right? Especially if you're in a space where you need to find yourself. We're not talking about everything is perfect. I've always gone on girls trip. My husband knows.
Bro, let me tell you
that exists
something.
too, right?
Yes, I'm not speaking for other women. I'm speaking for myself. I have never double dated. I have never had two boyfriends at the same time. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how to explain that.
That's not who you are.
I don't like drama. I don't have to explain myself. I want to be, if I'm here, if my husband said, listen, when we got married, my husband was in Nigeria for 2 years before he came here.
Right.
Like everything I'm doing, like he knows I'm gonna go here tomorrow. I'm gonna do this tomorrow. So if you come and say, "Oh, I went to Nathan's house, she's not home," he's gonna be like, "Oh, she told me she has to do this." If you go to that place, he goes like, "I don't want to have to explain myself when it comes to that. I don't
Yeah.
have space for. I don't have shock absorber for that.
So
I
for
don't.
you, you know what that means for you, right?
Yeah,
Because
I
remember,
don't have.
rock bottom, everybody has rock bottoms, right?
Yep,
For
yep.
so for you, your own rock bottom is probably going to be mental. That guy go collect. You won't ever cheat on him, but what will happen to him inside that house?
And you know
Hey.
another thing that brought me to that, we had a friend
Uh-huh.
that traveled, and they were when we were like 21. She was dating this guy, and she went. She and her boyfriend had a little fight, and she
Uh-huh.
went for an event, and she had a fling with someone.
That's
Guess
it.
what? No, guess what? She
What?
became positive. She was not pregnant. Positive.
Well, that was just village people because
Bro,
Jesus Christ.
no, aside the fact that that is my
Positive
rule,
what?
that I cannot do
Pregnancy
that.
or is pregnant or which one?
No, HIV.
Jesus is Lord.
Oh, I'm not joking. HIV.
That's
This is my
crazy.
friend.
That's
So aside that's my
village
rule,
people.
even after hearing that, like that thing was like enforced with like padlock and just one key. Like I'm not dragging this right now.
So
Because
like I said, right? For you, like again, we all have it. It just shows up differently, right? And that's sad that happened to your friend, right?
Yeah, it's really sad.
Some people are gonna look like, before I suffer mental health inside of this house, I will have fun,
Nah.
right? That's not who you are. Some other girls are like that.
Yeah, but they're different kind of funds though, Ola.
You said
They're
what?
different kind of funds.
No, their own fun is this one. Let me show you their own fun. Okay, their own fun will hurt. It needs to feel like it's hurting on the other side. Number 4.
But so see, and then that's where people are different. I don't have, for me, if you do something like, and I think that, oh, okay, I'm not gonna die in this house. I need to go and have fun.
Mhm.
I don't have energy and time to say that I want to do this because
It's
I
not
know
that you don't
the
have
way-
energy. It's not who you said it earlier. It's not who
Well,
you
it's
are.
not who I am.
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't
because
have-
you're
yeah.
holier than the other person. It's just not who
No.
you are.
No, I still curse.
You said what?
I still curse.
wait. So there's you get what I'm saying there, right?
Yeah, but
This is what I mean by
the point I make is that, so what do you gain if you're trying
What
to
do
do
you
something
gain?
because you want to? I have a friend. She's white. If her boyfriend does anything to her or he breaks up with her, she'll sleep with his best friend. We went to college together. No joke. This is somebody I know one-on-one. That is her deal. She's like, you want to mess me up? I'll mess you up more. She's gonna have sex with you. Best friend.
All right. So when you say what is our gain, keep in mind we're on men of prestige now, right? When you say this is a gain, you don't see number 4 as a gain at an emotional level.
No.
Okay, it's
Now,
a gain.
Let me tell you why it's not a game. Let me tell you why it is not a game. Two things gonna happen at the end of the day. It's either you guys go separate ways or you're back together.
You're talking about long term. Emotions doesn't care about long term.
That's
Do
what
you
I'm
see
saying,
this
though.
short term as a gain? Because we're talking about emotional level now.
But no, that's what I'm explaining, Ola. Like, if you don't take hold of your emotions and it let you do stupid stuff, you're gonna regret at the end of the day, even if it makes you feel good at that time. Imagine somebody going to go and have sex and enjoy it for 2 seconds and find out you're HIV positive. Like, are you joking? Just because you want to piss your boyfriend off?
That okay. We might be making the same point. My point is that when I say something is emotional, it's designed to be short term. It means it can destroy you in the mid to long term.
That's why people need to get hold of it.
Okay, so the reason why a normal woman who is not necessarily an evil person, you might deem it evil because you put yourself on a pedestal, not you, but in general, right? When somebody put themselves on a pedestal, they come from a judgmental place. They're not able to dig in a little bit deeper into emotional levels. People will do stupid things when it feels right, even if it can destroy them. I am saying it because I want to bring awareness to it. I need you to understand. I need us to understand that you are getting a kick out of every behavior. It might be short term. You need to separate the two. You're getting a short-term gain, meaning potentially you have a blind spot. You're not able to see how you're destroying your life in the mid to long term, right? And the reason why I feel the need to break it down like that is because the talking points are easy to throw around, right? Like then people will assume shaming, right? Because they are also feeding their own soul in that moment.
Yep.
They're feeling holy and they want to shame the
massaging their
other
ego.
person. They're massaging their own ego, and in the long term, they're not creating any positive effect. They are completely disconnected from values, right? What is the short-term value that a person gained from anger? We need to identify that so we can fix it. We need to see it for what it is first, and then we can fix it. That's why I told women earlier that are here, like, listen, anger is a completely misplaced emotion for you. You're not supposed to be in that spirit. Feminine energy is supposed to be happy, la la, just but you are in a place of anger. All kind of dangerous things can happen in a very short period of time. So you want to make sure that you're always feeding yourself. Don't stay too long in a place of abuse, because what they call snap, in a short snap of a finger,
Yeah, when you snap,
all kind of things can go wrong. And then you wake up, because you just calm down, and then you be like, what happened? What did I do? It's true for men too, but I'm saying that particularly because typically when you don't expect that you can be in that space, when it happens, it means you really, really lost yourself in the funk of that, right? It means at a mental level, you snapped, like you became somebody else. But if you're not, what they call it, if you have a bad defense, you end up in jail for the rest of your life. You know? So
sometimes some people trauma response too.
Trauma response.
That's why people need to do therapy.
Yeah. Women midlife crisis, they start attending all the Owambe. You get it. Adebu Salah know what I'm talking about. They suddenly, out of nowhere, they want to go to every party. That's midlife crisis. There's nothing wrong with it. You just have to be aware that that's what it is.
You guys want to know my own?
What's yours?
Now is obsession for makeup.
Makeup. Suddenly you discover yourself like, I can look good.
I do in my house. I've always had obsession for shoes. That has not changed. But makeup is the new thing now.
Yeah. It's faces. It's faces. Nothing is wrong. We're not talking about right and wrong. Nothing's wrong with any of this stuff. Just awareness, right? Romari says the men will empty their family savings over a sport car. That one is village people. Shout out to Blessed. This is village people now. But yes, men do that. I agree. They won't do it like not all the way wipe out, but it will be some kind of strange financial behavior.
Yeah, something that makes no sense.
Yeah, like it's not making sense,
Like, bro, so what does this value add to the family right now? You're like, no, I just need it. Maybe he just remembered that when he was 16, he wanted to do that.
Yeah, I saw that Marriott, there is a Freaknik documentary coming out, and shout out to Marriott. I haven't seen you in a while.
Hi, Marriott. I miss you.
Yeah, there's a Freaknik documentary coming out, and some ladies who are in their 40s right now are trying to block it because they feel like they might end up in a video of them misbehaving 20 years ago.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's God, bro. 20 years just come like that. Many of them professionals. I saw it on TikTok. Professionals, people that that are doing well right now, that they don't want to be seen in that light of misbehavior in the streets of Atlanta 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's real, I'm telling you. So short-term behavior can absolutely destroy you.
There's another this thing that I saw recently, Nice and Neat. Have you seen the podcast?
Nice and Neat? No, I haven't seen it. No.
Oh my God, you need to watch it. Like, it's just three guys like on the podcast, and the way they talk about life and like vulnerability, like vulnerability at its finest. I've said all the time, like, there's nothing as sexy as a man that's been vulnerable. You understand what I'm saying? Bro, no, and again, it depends who is saying it, because don't be the one that was. Brother,
don't do it.
Brother, no. Understand my point. The point I'm
Explain
making
yourself.
is that,
Explain
right?
yourself.
The point I'm making is like,
I'm whining you.
bye. All right, everyone, have a good night. Cause it's not gonna stop. What?
They want us to be vulnerable until they don't want it anymore. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm listening.
No, the point I'm making is, listen. I used to say that I made a video that I never ended up posting it, where I say people used to tell people like, oh, people would tell me all the time, oh, I know you're strong, you pull through. I'm like, I freaking don't want to be the strong one sometimes. Like, I damn need a hug. I need somebody to tell me that I'm gonna be okay. So like the men, like they are the head, they are leading, but sometimes like they need a pat on the back. They need like, you'll be fine.
We do. The
You don't
truth
have
is
to be a
that we do.
superhero today.
The
Like,
truth.
be a
The truth is
superhero
that
for
we
him
do.
that day too. Was that?
No, the truth is that we do. But there's a big old but, like a big old nyash, right?
Well, that's for me.
Yeah. A man who is vulnerable in the way you are painting it, he's going to remind you. Don't be you say make her be vulnerable, and you're going to be like, that's not what I
you're
meant.
not getting it. I don't want you to be forming macho all the time. Do
You want him
understand?
to feel open with you and be able to say, today I'm just not there.
Yeah,
You're not
forming macho.
you're not
Yeah,
asking him to cry.
well, if he has to, I'm not saying cry every day, but if you have to, there are times that you gotta let it out. They whine you. I know they whine you. There are times that you gotta let it out, bro. This
All right.
mental shit is real.
If his mother died, yes.
Yes.
If you're talking about how he spent all the family money because of midlife crisis,
Oh, hell no. Well,
and he starts crying.
That's not gonna be my husband. That's gonna be me. I'm the spending one. That's not gonna be my husband. No.
Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for.
No,
Vulnerable men will burst into cry because he finished all the life savings. He's in midlife crisis. It's emotional. Remember?
When it comes to that spending, that's gonna be me, not my husband.
I do think vulnerability is sexy. I think without if you're not capable of being vulnerable, you're not going to have a successful relationship.
But do you know another thing again? You have to be in a place to be able to take someone that's vulnerable. Do you understand what I'm saying? You must have that capacity.
Right. But
you can't just tell somebody.
So it
you can't
depends.
just tell somebody to fall off the roof like fall. I got you, and then you're
obviously that's consistent behavior. Now we're crossing the line into needy behavior. That's not sexy, right?
No, that's not needy, bro. I don't think you get what.
Isn't it in the eyes of the beholder?
Boy, bye.
It's in the eyes of the beholder now, right? Something
is,
you will call needy. Another woman that will come and judge you. Say, yours is too much. Like, while your husband is going through something like that, you can't be there, and you're the only one that understands what kind of trauma and abuse, emotional abuse you've encountered, and you feel like you have to leave. And the rest of the women in this society will judge you. Have you not seen that before? They will judge you.
Of course.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm the one that if you live with your partner, you know the kind of partner you have. If your partner is a kind of person that anything happens, wants a little space to like breathe and then come back and have a conversation about it, there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure, but it's called space for a reason. It's because you don't need it all the time. If you need it all the time, that person's trying to escape.
Oh, your husband is going through this, or your wife is going through this, you left her alone. You don't live in our house. You don't know the rules.
Yeah, but they said you're not allowing a man to be vulnerable. A black man, precisely.
No, that's not my own point of vulnerable. If he wants to cool down to be able to open up to me, that's still vulnerable.
Yeah, I do think, let me say this. I do think that every healthy relationship needs, both parties will need a space where they can be vulnerable.
Fact.
Yes. I agree with that,
Because if both parties don't, that is where you have some people stepping
It's not sustainable. You're not God.
Not even,
It's just not sustainable trying to be a superhuman all the time.
Right. And that's where you have some people stepping up because, okay, now the other person's not listening to you. And then somebody out there is giving you a listening ear. And before you know it, you begin to talk to that person too much.
Yeah.
And before you know it, And cheating does not only have to be sexual. There's emotional cheating.
That's even worse because you will never find out the real truth. But
Yeah, exactly.
that's even worse. But
Exactly.
Adebusala said to unwind, go skydiving, go to the spa, learn how to ride a bike, change your wardrobe, hit the gym, watch seasonal
I like
movies.
that line. That change
Change
wardrobe
your-
line is kind of.
I change. I that's something I'm guilty of. I need to do it more. The thing is that I 100% agree with that. And when we say midlife crisis by itself, there's nothing wrong with it. All of us will go through in one shape, form or the other, right? It's about be aware when these things are happening. In fact, if you're going through midlife crisis and suddenly you want to skydive, I think that's a good thing, right? I think it's even better if you're aware that that's what I'm going through. It's a phase. I feel like I've missed out on life. I need to live, right? You're coming from a place of awareness and intentionality to a large extent. And ladies, if your husband, who is 55 years old, you start to panic because at the age of 47, you're trying to go on a girl's trip, you need to understand, okay? I'm not saying you shouldn't go on your girl's trip, but you need this is where you're going to need your seduction powers, right? If you get upset and you overreact and you start calling him insecure, you are telling us what we already know. Of course, it's insecure, but this is your husband. That's your insecure husband, not mine.
You're the worst. Like that's
You're not gonna get away with just calling him insecure. It will get worse.
You have to look for a way to
All
calm
right.
him down.
You're not gonna get away with pulling out all the dictionary meanings of all the psychological terms you've learned in this internet streets. You would destroy everything you've been cooking for the past 20 years just because of your short-term feelings. And then 3 months from now, you'll be like, damn, what did I do? Because if you call a man insecure, a typical man, he will overreact to even if you're right.
yeah.
No man wants to be insecure, even if he's effectively insecure.
That's
He will
right.
feel attacked. He will respond accordingly. If he's
But don't we all
incompetent,
do
like a lot
that?
of these
Even
men.
if you call your woman insecure, she's gonna react to. So
So imagine if you call a man insecure. A man is
Yeah.
supposed to be the one securing everything, and you call him insecure,
yeah.
right? He's just gonna end up in an argument with you and say, "I'm not insecure." What do you mean? That's what's wrong with y'all women these days. You
So
always
you're
think
not
something.
going.
No, you can go. You need to engage your seduction powers.
No,
There's
I'm not saying like I'm just saying if she does not react in the right way, he might end up saying, okay, so you're not going.
Oh yeah, he will say you're not going. Now you will use agidi, coconut
Yeah.
head to go, and then
Yeah.
you come back to a broken marriage. How do I? Oh no, but you don't have to come to a broken marriage. Well, you can live together and be in a broken marriage for 5 years. How about that?
Oh my God. That's
That's
torture.
even worse. For those that think, oh, if you stay in it, afterwards, you can stay in a terrible marriage too now. That's punishing yourself for no reason, you know. No one should
know,
stay in
I-
terrible marriages.
I have a friend's mom that's trying to have her get married. We're like the same age.
Mhm.
She turned 41 this year. And the mom was like, she's an only daughter. She has brothers. And the mom is like, oh, just get a husband. Even if you're not happy, just get married. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no. It needs to be done properly. Like anything else that you value in life, it needs to be done properly.
Yeah, no, but you know the African mentality where they just want to say, oh my
I know what
daughter's
you're talking
getting
about.
married.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But I know a lot of Africans and traditionally minded people, because I know African Americans that talk stupid like that. Yeah, no, it needs to be done. I don't care how old you are. If you're 70, if you're gonna get married, you need to do it properly. Okay, because don't do it. It's pointless. Especially the older you get, just do it properly. It takes you 1 year to do it right. Get a coach. Get a coach. Get a coach. Get a coach if you want to do it properly. The older you get, the bigger your blind spots get, the more close-minded you tend to get. So, the more you need a coach for this type of stuff. Let me get some last word from you, Jerry. Natu, thanks for coming.
And you think some people are still listening to you to get a coach? They'll still not go and get the coach. They'll still go and marry and start saying,
yeah, because they will wait till rock bottom. That's fine. Coconut
why
head.
do we have to? And you'll be thinking by now we should be having like better marriages, like people be doing better in marriages because we're like more aware.
The population is going. The population rate growth. The growth rate of population is going to have to decline massively first. A lot of people are going to die by single first. with no children first before we get it correctly. Because at the end of the day, innately we want to reproduce, we want to recreate, we want to do that. But it's a cycle, right? People get into a place where men are going their own way in life, but what's going on is that they will impregnate each other, end up with a bunch of single parenthood, and then end up in that course anyway. Because God is nobody's mate, man. You can. The best you can do with life is learn how it works.
Yes. Yeah.
The idea that I'm going to avoid being a human being, avoid my shadow for the rest of my life.
Lori,
You end up in Potoporo. Potoporo. Poro sound like something else entirely. But I yield, boss. Go ahead,
The
Jerry.
beautiful thing about all of these things is like people like this goes to men and women both. Like you can't give what you don't have. You understand? So if you want to be a recipient of love, you have to give love out.
Yeah.
So if you want to give love out and you don't have it, then you have to like learn how to love. You have to learn how to love yourself first. If you learn how to love yourself, you know what you want and what you don't want. So when you're receiving that love and you're getting like a fake kind of love that is not syncing with the one that you have, you can reject it.
You remember that conversation that we had with that young lady about loving yourself, right?
Yeah.
Fundamentally, at a very fundamental, absolute standpoint, I agree with you. You have to love yourself, right? A lot of people don't even know what that looks like. Remember that conversation?
Yes.
A lot of people don't know what that looks
100%.
like. Going back to what we were saying, that people will need coaching. The dating scene is confusing at best.
Is.
That's what you're telling me. That's what everyone is telling me. Oh, like you have been out of the game. You don't know exactly, right? It's confusing. You need a coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
you
joke.
You need a coach. You need extended coaching. Not just you go to one session because you're fighting your boyfriend today. That's not gonna work. You will go there and argue. You will snap back to who you are, incompetent, right? And then the same thing will continue. You will pay another $250. You'll go to another one, right? And what you're doing, every premium breakfast you are eating, you're creating damages, and you're going to punish more people for it.
You're not going to the root of the problem. You're not going to the root of the problem. And that's why I said, like, this year, like, focus more on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Focus more on yourself. If you're married or if you're in a relationship, you want to see what you're bringing into the relationship. Are you adding value or not? Is there anything wrong that your partner is complaining about that you need to work on? You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes to the side of loving yourself, you have to love who you are as a person. If you're tall, you're slim. If you're fat, you have to embrace your fatness. If you're slim, you have to embrace your slimness. This is who I am. Like, people gonna treat you the way you treat yourself.
I have a question for you now. What if you're short, fat, and ugly as a man?
Let me tell you something, bro. I have seen an ugly girl and you cannot tell her nothing.
No, I didn't say ugly girl. Ugly girl, man will still want to smash her.
No.
I said ugly, short, and fat, ugly man.
No. I'm talking about somebody that I have known. This is the girl.
Wait, before you continue, let me. In fact, it's good that you said that. Sorry to cut you off. It's good. See what Kathy just said here. I think it goes for everyone. No one wants to be called and say you always want to make man and woman equal. We're not the same. So let's go back to it. I need a short, fat, and ugly man, not woman. Short, fat, and ugly man. Tell me what he should do.
If you are short, fat, and ugly man, just have money. Money will give you stupid confidence. Let me tell you something. God, listen. If you're short, fat, and ugly, have money.
Keep your eyes. So get that bag. Keep your eyes on the bag, Abby.
My bro, you have money. Your wife said, finance guy don't forget your kind of wife.
So you agree with me from earlier that money they create attraction like this, eh?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
But Paul didn't know that too. But Paul, Auntie Pacey, Auntie Kilo Auntie, you know? What's the other name? Auntie Polime. She didn't know that too.
I'm not trying to call people ugly. But let's just assume some people that we know are famous and
on the Fibonacci scale. We're not calling them ugly. Just on the Fibonacci scale of English scale of beauty.
Right, exactly. And let's just say they were never rich and they're just poor. You imagine how they're gonna look like, bro?
People are
No.
mad in this internet street.
Nah,
They will start.
money makes you fine.
Okay, so the
but
thing is that I agree with you, right? But the absolute of it, I want to end now after I get one more last word from you. There's something about you, your own gift that God gave you. I don't care how ugly you are. I don't care what skill you're using.
That's right.
That's all you need to ever focus on. That's all you ever need to focus. You need to find out what your gifts are, and that will, like the scripture said. I'm not quoting Bible at you. It will open doors for you. Go ahead.
Sorry, do you remember Oprah's story? How she was rejected from TV because they don't think she had the face for TV, and because someone felt she was ugly too.
Yeah.
And then what happened? She became the queen of the mic, and nobody can dispute that.
Because she had to go because she probably had to go and prove herself first, and that's what everyone has to do.
She understood that she had that gift, just like you're saying. She now realized that there's a gift that she has inside of her. So she now went and unleashed that gift. And you know what? I'm going to make the best. She's like, listen, there's only one opera. There's not another person. And when somebody asked her and said, if you happen to do this talk show and if it doesn't end well, what are you going to do? She said, I'll do well. She's like, but what happened if the talk show didn't do well? I'm going to still do well.
Yep.
So the guy was trying to say everything because she had that confidence too.
Yeah, because if you have gift and you're practicing and you're very good at that thing, that's precisely what creates confidence. Yeah. If you're focused on the things you're not good at, like for example, you're short, fat, and ugly. If that's where your focus is, it's no wonder why it's tampering with your level of confidence. And then confidence is sexy. Lack of confidence is what? But ugly. Even if you're a fine person, if you lack confidence. You will come off as ugly to everybody, or at least at some point, because even if you're really fine on the face, right? But if you come off as someone that lack confidence, eventually you will try
it's just
to
like an empty
people.
Container. If you're fine on the face and then they're expecting you to like say something or do something, and then you're not able to like meet up to par, and they'll be like,
yeah.
So that brain, nothing there inside. You know that what people usually say. So that's what it is, honestly speaking. So I just feel like self-love has to be like you knowing yourself, and you're not gonna finish knowing yourself entirely, but having that confidence about who you are, whatever you know. Even if you just know just a little, you can't let somebody bash you because they know much and you know a little. So
it's a journey now. It's a journey.
My twin sister is a chef. She cooks. And there's this local
I forgot you said you're a twin. You and Brother Patrick.
There's this local food of ours that we make from corn that I make. And I make it better than my twin sister. And my twin sister husband always likes me to make it for them. And every time I make it, I rub it in her face. I'm like, at least there's something that I can make better than you, Sophie. It makes me feel so good. So good. Yeah. So, and I don't feel bad about it, honestly, because everybody has their calling.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. Thank you so much, Natu. I appreciate you always.
My pleasure.
My G. We'll talk soon.
All right, my people. Adios.
All right. So I don't mean to push the Bible down your throat, but I will right now. Sorry. Proverbs 18:16. A man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men. You need to find your gift. Sometimes we say that in the form of find your purpose, right? It could be your ability to make money, but I want you to be careful with that because not everybody's going to make money. Everybody has a gift. Not everybody's going to be that rich guy who he pulls up in a Lamborghini. Don't end up becoming a Woodbury because somebody said go and put your eyes on the bag. Don't do that. Some of you don't know what it means when they tell you keep your eyes on the bag, right? Some women don't know what it means. Just focus on you look. If you lack confidence, you end up doing BBL. And most men, at least the ones that I know, they're not interested in BBL. Let me just warn you, okay? They're not. It might look good in walking by. They don't want to have to wake up to a BBL. I'm just warning you. Most men are not Gucci Mane. They're not Gucci Mane. They're not Future. They're not people that will wake up to BBL. I'm warning you. Just so you know. A lot of those things, surface level, materialistic, that's not how you want to think about it. You want to think about it in a more holistic, sustainable way. Find your purpose. Find your gift. Okay, find your purpose, find your gift. It will open doors for you. It will make ways for you. It will create confidence by default. Confidence is sexy. I don't care how you look. Okay, I don't care how you look. Confidence is sexy. Okay. Not only that, you will have less and less time to worry about how other people see you. Okay. So short, fat, and ugly man, I feel your pain, but we need to work on finding your purpose. That your disconnect. The only reason why any short, fat, and ugly man would be concerned about those things is because it's precisely disconnected from his purpose. If not, he won't even know. They will still tell me, you think I'm ugly? Oh, okay. I guess. On what scale? Fibonacci rule scale or what? It's stupid, right? It starts to sound stupid. And the older you get, you will start realizing that that's not the way to life. Okay? So I appreciate everybody. Shout out to everybody, embassy, everybody that came by today. Shout out to all 24 people listening. Turn on your notifications. Join the notification gang on WhatsApp so you don't have to come late. If you came late, please go and watch everything from the beginning. There were some real lessons at the beginning that I don't want you to miss out on. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and appreciated. Appreciated, right? Hopefully, you've been enlightened and entertained, educated. I will see you on the next one. And peace.